Welcome back to Trust the Process, brought to you by Coastal Indoor Golf. I'm Keith. He's Mike. I have no Skylar today. He is out and about doing some errands and other whatnots. But it's a rare day where you and I are both off. It's kind of
I took off because I had to take care of other things for my other job.
Still, I'm luckily usually off on Tuesdays, so
That's true.
it's kind of a nice feeling. I'm getting over a little bit of sickness I had over the weekend, so
Do you have the coronavirus?
I do not know. And wow, way to go with relevancy right there. But yeah, Skylar was actually a guest on another Jags podcast. That is actually the name. I'm not just saying another Jags podcast, but the guys over there are really good. They have put out a good show, pretty sure every week, right?
Not every week. I listen to them
During the season, right?
They try to, sometimes twice a week. But yeah, they do post here and there. They took a little break until probably last week or so, but they're getting back on track.
Okay, well, definitely check out Skylar on there, and check them out too. They're very good podcast. Skylar talked about the unique Ngakoue situation, which of course we will be getting to on our show today, as well as a little bit of NBA talk and some March Madness, and then of course rounding out with a little bit of local news. First off, I just wanted to let you know I just finished BoJack Horseman. I know you said you haven't seen that show, but I finished the actual series. Like they're talking about they're not making any more episodes, and I'm really depressed about that. But thinking about watching every single episode from them, I never skipped the intro to the show. I always loved it. It's actually a Black Keys. They were just kind of like messing around with their instruments, and that's how it became the intro. I don't know. It's just one of those intros I can never skip. Is there a show for you that you feel like you can't skip the intro when you're watching it?
Honestly, come to think of it, originally I said no. I usually skip the intros. One show that came to mind, though, when I thought about it, I thought of, what's it called? House of Cards. That intro is pretty good.
I've not seen that, but I've heard it's a good show.
It is a good show. I haven't seen the last season, but after Kevin Spacey got kicked off the show because of his sexual assault allegations.
Yeah, understandable.
I kind of did not want to watch it because it'd be weird without Kevin Spacey because he was the best character I can remember watching. But I'd say House of Cards and that 70s show I got back into. I watched it multiple times, but now recently I've been watching it again. And that's an intro I'll laugh because just how they transition from what they originally started off as to what they look like at the end of the show is so cool how they transition to.
Yeah, that's
and just
true.
The music. God, I can't even name the name of the song, but the way they start off the show with them in the car driving is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is an iconic one for sure. For me, I also can never skip Friday Night Lights. I think that one just because it gives me chills. Oh man! And you said you haven't seen that show?
Nope. I've thought about it, but I just don't. I've never even really sat down and watched. Lately, I've been so busy.
If you listeners haven't seen it, it's Michael B. Jordan's first role. He comes in later in the seasons, but it's just an excellent. It's high school football. I mean, it's just in Texas, so you know it's got to be like there's going to be intense scenes. There's going to be this and that, but keeping on the track of football, let's just go ahead and get it over with. Unique Ngakoue comes out and says that he has no interest in signing a long-term deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and in response to that, the Jacksonville Jaguars say that they are going to franchise tag him. Tell me your first reactions when you heard it, and then how you feel now, currently.
Well, when I first heard it, it's funny, I woke up to it. I woke up and I get a Bleacher Report notification from Bleacher Report saying Unique Ngakoue does not intend to stay in Jacksonville, and they took a screenshot of his tweet essentially. And then 20 minutes later, the Jaguars franchised Unique Ngakoue after he tweeted that. I think the whole situation is an absolute shit show. I don't even care that I just cussed, but I was pissed because once again, Jaguars have a good star and they can't afford to. They find ways to screw up their relationships with their players, whether that be Allen Robinson from 3 years ago, to Jalen Ramsey last summer, to now Unique Ngakoue this summer.
So with those last two you named, obviously we know what has come and gone and how those have, the effects of those. But with this current one, who do you put the blame on most for, him being in this situation where he doesn't want to return?
I think it goes back to Tom Coughlin. I know he's not part of the team anymore, but it goes back to him, Dave Caldwell, Shad Khan, because they clearly are showing these defensive studs that we've had, and even Allen Robinson on the offensive side of the ball. They're willing to give the money to unproven people such as Blake Bortles from 2 years ago.
Miles Jack,
he had 1-2 good years, and now he is not comfortable in the middle linebacker position. Nick Foles this past offseason, and that's why Jalen was heated. They're giving $88 million to a quarterback who is just an average quarterback at best. He had a lucky run in the playoffs a few years ago with the Eagles. It just shows that, and they also paid Andrew Norwell one of those rich contracts for an offensive guard, and he turned out to be a massive bust. It falls on the front office, falls on Khan, Coughlin, even though he's not part of the team anymore, Caldwell, but also Unique Ngakoue deserves a little bit of blame because whatever was negotiated last summer is last summer. Put that in the past. Move on. Go talk about a new deal this time. He did pretty well this year. And I know everyone's going to bring up the pass rush, how he's only gotten about average 8 or 9 sacks a year. That's not what you want to pay someone. But Unique has been a dominant player for our franchise the last 4 years, and he has played really well. And granted, maybe he's not worth $22 million, but
do you think that was him just BSing so that the Jaguars wouldn't even be able to come up with an offer for him?
I think so. I think he truly does not think he's $22 million, but in order to keep him there, if he says I'll stay here for $22 million a year, I can see him asking that. And honestly, the Jaguars right now cannot keep affording to let these good players go. They are in a situation where no talent wants to come here now, especially after this 2 games in London fiasco. And I tweeted the other day, this London experiment is not working. No one wants to come to Jacksonville anymore.
No, they really don't.
Yeah, and he's 24 years old. He's entering, I think, the prime of his career.
I think that's the most important thing. I mean, you want to pay a guy, maybe not $22 million, but you want to pay a guy a lot that has shown that he can be a force on the defensive line. There's not a lot of elite pass rushers that come out at 24 years old. And just to let him walk away for nothing, I mean, obviously we'll get something for him, but it just boggles my mind what this front office is thinking. And the whole London games, that's the biggest thing right now.
I think, not to cut you off, Keith,
no,
but
fine.
The London thing is hurting players' paychecks. I forgot where I saw it. I think it was one of the Jags fans. I don't know who it was. But when Uche Nwaneri was talking about the pay cut, I gotta find the tweet, but their paychecks look a lot smaller when they go to London because where they're playing, they get taxed the London tax. They don't get taxed Florida or the United States. It's a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know what the money is because I'm not a football player, but
he said it looked like a rookie.
Like a rookie salary, which is huge because that's a lot of money being sent to taxes. And another tweet that caught my eye, well, 2 tweets, I'm pulling up Twitter right now, was one by Allen Robinson, ironically, a day ago, tweeted, "History repeats itself."
Okay, before you go any further with that, though, did you see all the people trolling him?
I'm about to say, now there's a lot of people saying, you playing with a garbage quarterback or the Jags being the Jags, because both are accurate. Someone said, Trubisky working out for you? You got stuck with a quarterback worse than Bortles. Ramsey and Fowler got stuck with a franchise about to implode, and we're still the Jags. I don't know about that. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, people are saying that's a shot at the Jaguars, which yes, but also I think it's hilarious. Another one I thought was very interesting was Ryan Davis, former Jaguar. He said, "Not gonna lie, that's not a good look for the Jags long term. Josh Allen is paying attention. Josh Allen, the defensive end rookie that we just drafted. Hope they do right by him in a couple of years. I want Duval to win." So,
it's true. You look up to those that are above you.
Exactly, and you look up who you learn from the most. And Allen learned a lot from Unique Ngakoue and Calais Campbell. And ironically, both those players may be gone from the Jaguars in 2020 and going forward. So, it's just something to watch. I don't know with Unique Ngakoue. I put more blame on the front office, though, to be honest with you.
Well, with all that being said, do you think, excuse my bluntness, my French, whatever, You think they're just being bitches to each other and they might actually be able to come to something, or is that ship sailed?
I think it's a 50-50 shot.
I think the ship sailed. I don't think there's any way that they can...
I think the only way he stays in Jacksonville is if he gets a massive contract.
Okay, we give him a massive contract, so then no Calais then?
Oh, yeah, Calais will be going. But if it looks like the writing's on the wall, and people, I think it's hilarious that when Ngakoue tweeted no longer wants to play in Jacksonville, I was thinking, did he say he don't want to play a long-term contract in London? But obviously that's a joke because it's not happening because I think he's sick of the front office and how they treated him the last 2 off seasons. So, I mean, I'm leaning, I don't even want to say 50-50. I think I'm leaning towards he's officially gone. They just gotta find it.
80-20?
I'd say 80-20.
Okay.
I think he is out of Jacksonville, which sucks because he was the last person I got a jersey. No, I'm sorry. The second to last person I got a jersey of. And every single player I've gotten a jersey of on all my professional sports teams.
Go through the Jags right now.
All right, the Jags. I've got, going back, I had a Leftwich jersey, my first one, then a Mojo jersey, which worked out pretty good.
Which is fair. I mean, which is fair because of the time. You know, there weren't really many jerseys you could be getting from them because
Leftwich,
there was nobody
Mojo,
good.
And then it went to Allen Robinson, and then I got a Blake Bortles jersey, which was whatever. It was like $50. I'm not going to be mad about that.
We sold them for $10 at Academy.
Okay, that was before he got cut. I was a little pissed off about that. Then I got a Jalen Ramsey jersey, and then a Unique Ngakoue jersey, and now I got a Leonard Fournette jersey. So my history of jerseys are not great. So
I almost bought a Justin Blackmon jersey when they were marked down to $5 at Academy. I almost bought one just so I could, have a jersey, but I couldn't bring myself to it.
Yeah, never again. I'm done with jerseys for a while.
I mean, you also have a Hidou Turkoglu and a Victor Oladipo
Magic jersey, and now I've got a John Isaac jersey who can't stay healthy. So, yeah, I'm just the bad luck with jerseys.
Well, maybe we'll stick to NBA jerseys because at least Isaac he's still got promise.
But he can't stay healthy.
Well, switching gears actually to the NBA, it was a good segue there.
I was say good segue.
The Magic right now are sitting at the 7 seed at 27-34. We just lost to Portland last night in a pretty ugly loss. But there's no way we are catching Philadelphia.
You don't think so?
10 games? No way. We're not.
I mean, Philadelphia could implode any minute now.
I still don't think they'll lose 10 games where we'll be able to gain 10 games on them. I'm more concerned about keeping the 7 seed away from Brooklyn so we don't get swept by the Milwaukee Bucks.
I think either way we're getting swept. Or maybe winning a game.
I think we can win one game against Toronto because I think we match up better.
I think the Bucks, the reason why, they have size. The Bucks have size too. I keep forgetting about their bench.
Yeah.
And our size
doesn't have the size that they have. And we've proven that we've been able to hang with Toronto before. I'm pretty sure we almost beat them this year. Or we did beat them earlier. I can't remember.
We also played them last year in the playoffs. We stole game 1.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. With no Kawhi this year. But Milwaukee, I'm pretty sure we may have beaten them earlier this year. But I want to say Giannis was resting that game.
Probably. But also, we could play Boston in the first round. If Boston jumps up to 2.
Yeah. I don't think I want to play Boston.
I don't want to play anyone. We stink. We're not going to do anything, so...
Yeah, well, the East is very weak, but the West is very, very, very strong. So.
Well, I'd say the top 7 is strong. That's
okay. Well, the top 3 in the East are strong, and I don't think the Heat can do anything. The Pacers aren't going to do anything. Sixers, Magic, Nets, nothing.
Yeah.
One of those 3 are going to go to the finals. If it's not the Bucks, they need to maybe have a reality check. But in the Western Conference, you have the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Rockets, the Jazz. Hell, even the Thunder.
And the Mavericks. You got to give the Mavericks some credit.
Yeah, that's 7 teams right there. Of those 7, who do you think will make it to the finals?
I think it's either the Lakers or the Clippers. So the Clippers, the only reason I'm giving them the nod over the Nuggets is if Paul George and Kawhi can both stay... I'm not sorry, not Kawhi.
No injuries, yeah.
No injuries.
Disregard the injuries. Like, this is based off if everyone remains healthy or remains
and
the health
AKA
that
just
they have right
mainly
now.
Paul George. He can't stay healthy for the life of him. So if they stay healthy, I think they have the best shot at beating the Lakers in a 7-game series. The Nuggets, I don't know why I don't trust them. Don't know why.
I don't trust the Nuggets just because of
Jokic.
Just because, Jokic, well, his conditioning is
Concerning.
awful, but to be able to last a 7-game series, let alone multiple potential 7-game series, I don't think he could do it. I'm with you with the Clippers and the Lakers.
Houston's interesting to me because
I don't know.
That small ball lineup is working really well for them.
It is an interesting experiment. It's fun to watch.
But if they play the Lakers, they're getting swept.
But yeah, exactly.
Because the Lakers have got too many bigs right now.
And I don't think that they can sit there long enough and keep playing this game without somebody figuring it out, especially in a 4 to 7 game series. You're going to get figured out, and they're just going to be able to match up better, switch players better, stuff like that in order to stop it. I mean, obviously the small ball works. Russell Westbrook has an entire lane to himself because there's no one down there. They shoot the three really well. But I just don't think it can last.
And, I agree. It's just concerning because if they go against the Lakers with Anthony Davis, you got Dwight Howard, you got JaVale McGee. LeBron's not dumb. He's going to go attack the post. And LeBron, don't forget about him, he's going to go attack the post. And
for sure.
Seeing LeBron post up against someone like Harden, that's domination for LeBron.
It's almost comedic.
It's going to be Lakers will take care of business if they play the Rockets.
Right.
And right now, it looked like they could be playing each other in the second round if the current standings are current.
Well, with the remaining 4 teams, the Utah Jazz, the Thunder, the Mavericks, and the Grizzlies, I feel like those teams, their job really is just to tire out the top 4.
Well, I don't know about the Jazz and the Thunder because they're a game back of the 4.
I agree.
Or a game or two
I
back.
agree, but I still don't think the Jazz are there. Mike Conley has been awful.
They should have never signed or traded for him.
Well, the thing is he doesn't fit in with the offense there. He needs to be coming off leading the second unit. He's used to leading. I mean, he had to lead his entire career in Memphis. Him and Gasol were like their main offensive producers, and now he's in a role where he doesn't need to be.
Did you say Pau Gasol?
I just said Gasol.
I thought you said Pau. I was going to say, no, he's definitely not.
Well, Pau was on the Memphis Grizzlies for a while.
That's true.
No, back to that. But, his role is not established yet. It's kind of almost like, I don't want to compare it to it, but I'll do it anyway. The big 3 in Miami, they had to take a year to basically figure things out with, oh, wow, I'm playing with other superstars now. Of course, there's not superstars in Utah, but they have good players in Donovan Mitchell and others. But I don't think they have the tools to make it to the final in that extremely tough West.
I agree. And one team that's really surprising me, so far this year, the teams that have surprised me, going back to the East, Indiana. I'm just naming teams that caught on my eye.
The Heat for me.
Indiana without Oladipo, Sabonis has stepped up for them. Sixers, I'm a little surprised they're 6, but that's because Embiid and Simmons hate each other.
Simmons has been hurt too.
Yeah, and in the West, the Clippers surprised me a little bit. Why? I thought they would be struggling a little bit without Paul George. I don't know why. They're playing really well without Paul George, but now that they get Paul George back, they're looking like a real threat. The Rockets, the small ball lineup is actually working out pretty well. And the Thunder are one of the most impressive teams to me because their best player is Chris Paul, and everyone thought Chris Paul wanted out of OKC, and that is not the case. Granted, he's getting paid like $40 million a year, but he's doing pretty well in OKC. The fact that Danilo Gallinari is their leading scorer is pretty impressive, but he can't play defense.
Well, yeah.
But I mean,
insert foreign guy shooter in that role.
And they're averaging 110 points a game. They're allowing 108. Their defense is actually doing pretty well.
They've stayed healthy too, and that's really huge.
The only Roberson's been out for like 2 years now. Yeah. I feel bad for him.
He's just kind of like Justin Blackman. He's just kind of on the roster, but
and the fact that the Thunder are still in this, they're impressing me.
Yeah,
like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's done pretty well for them.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough love. I could talk for days about. I don't know if you saw my retweet the other day about ESPN sucking Caruso's dick.
Yeah, I think I like the tweet. I think I like that tweet, and they showed Joey Caruso like 45 times, and he's literally averaging 4 points a game.
But Schroeder has an honest case for 6th man of the year. He's been excellent, even though I can't stand him. He's been really good.
But yeah, he's been good. Another player I thought has been good for for 6th man is what's his name? I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank. No, let me see. Memphis is also a very surprising team. The Grizzlies of John Morant have been really impressive. this year. They can go. I hope they make the playoffs, but I know everyone's rooting for the Pelicans because of Zion and the possible Zion versus LeBron first round matchup.
Absolutely. Josh Jackson and John Moran have been excellent this year.
Yeah.
Kyle Anderson, Jonas Valanciunas, they've just been good role guys that have been able to help out when Ja can't score. But being 30-31 in the West is nothing to scoff at because they're still a good team.
Yeah, they're a good team. I really do hope they get the first round. They make the playoffs and then eventually get their shit pumped by LA.
Mike, it is March 3rd. That means March Madness.
This is March.
Yes, sir.
Quoting the great John Rothstein.
One of the greatest. March is a great month. We get tons of basketball. Usually means eating some wings, sitting at the bar for a long period of time. And for us, Skylar's not here, so we can say this. For us, we have reason to be pretty damn excited for this tournament. Florida State should be amazing. As of right now, they are projected as a 2 seed in the West bracket. That is in Los Angeles.
Again, we have to go to the West again.
But where our region is in Tampa. So that's pretty cool.
For the first 2 rounds, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. A lot of Florida State fans, I believe, will probably be making that trip down to Tampa just to see them play.
Would you?
Depends on the weekend because I've got a lot of stuff going on this month in terms of March because I know the conference tournaments are starting up. I've got to go down to Orlando for my brother's housewarming party, and then the week after I've got a baptism. So a month of March is crazy.
Mike Yazdi, the most busy man in America, but looking at it briefly, they have us as the 2 seed up against Arkansas Little Rock. This team. You said it yourself. They're really good.
Yep. The team is Florida State. It is a deep team. It's got great guard play for the first time in a few years. They've usually had great forwards, like in John Isaac, not Dwayne Bacon, Malik Beasley. He's a 2-3. You got Michael Ojo, Boris Budranov, whatever his last name was.
I can't say it either. It's okay.
They've got a deep team in terms of guard play and also forward play. And they've got...
Did you say foreplay?
Forward play. Maybe it sounds like foreplay, but...
It did sound like foreplay.
Whatever.
I'm sorry.
No, their guards are really looking good. Leonard Hamilton is... I'm going to admit it. I was wrong a few years ago. I wanted him fired.
Thank you.
Like 3 years ago.
I was gonna roast you on that.
No. I'll admit it. I wanted him fired because we had Dwayne Bacon and Malik Beasley. We had 2 5-star recruits. We finished in the NIT. How does that happen? I wanted him gone, and ironically, now everything's coming. Now it makes sense on what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Took us to the Sweet 16 the following year. The next year we made Sweet 16 again. The last year we made the Elite 8. We were close, and I really do think this team, now with 2-3 games left in the ACC before the conference tournaments, I think they can win the regular season title, which is a huge accomplishment for any team in the ACC, not named Duke or Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
We have a shot to win the ACC tournament, and I do really legitimately think we have a team that can go to the Final Four because of our guard play, because of Devin Vassell, because of Trent Forrest.
That was actually going to be my question. I was going to ask you what the ceiling is for this team.
This team I really do think they can go to the Final Four and win it all. It's just a matter of, can they stay healthy? Can they get the right bracket? Because it's all about March. It's all about luck and the luck of the draw.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a few teams I do not want to play. And one of them is Gonzaga because we've had their number. I think they're coming off for revenge. Another one is Kansas. They are looking like the best team in the country in a wide open field. But Baylor, I'm not worried about. Seton Hall, I'm good with. Maryland is overrated. Dayton, where have they been? But there's not many. This is the 1 year if they're gonna do it. This is the year to do it because it is a wide open year. Any team can win.
I agree fully. I think this is the year that Florida State could make it. Right now you're talking about that you don't want to play Gonzaga. Well, right now we're in Gonzaga's bracket.
Yeah, if we get placed in Los Angeles again, sorry to cut you off, Keith, but if we play in Los Angeles again for the third straight year, that is absolutely ridiculous. We've played in the West Coast 3 straight times in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. It's actually getting frustrating to watch them so late at night because we won't tip off till like 9:30, and it's going to be a late tip off, so you're going to be glued to the TV from like 9 to 12. And if you want to go out that night, you can't do anything.
And Keith's going to be tired. I don't know if I'd like that.
You'll probably be working the next morning.
Oh, I would be. I mean, yeah. But
depends on the day.
Well, with Florida State and how good they've been, it's almost appalling to see how good we've been. But on the other end of the spectrum, the other team from Florida, University of Florida, they are slated right now as a 9 seed, also in the West, matched up against Texas Tech. I don't think this team is very good.
They're not. They are not good.
And I'm not just saying that because I don't like Florida. I really don't think they're very good. They're on the bubble. They should be in, but I mean,
if they're in, they're going to be in either. If they could make some noise because again, it's all based on the luck of the draw. Mm-hmm. Who they play in the first round, who they play in the second round, because if they're a 9 seed, they're going to play a 1 seed in the next round.
Yeah, which if it's slated the way it is right now, they play Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga would torch them, but they've got to finish this season first. I mean, they have to still play Kentucky at home. If they can win that game, sure, okay, I can see them making some noise, but they can't overlook Georgia and just try and focus on Kentucky, because if they lose to Georgia...
If they lose to Georgia, they're more likely on the outside looking in, barring a massive run in the SEC tournament.
I mean, they'd have 7 losses in the conference. If they lost to Kentucky, they had 8 losses in the conference. I don't see a way they could get in at that point. They would be a very high seed in the NIT, but, I mean, Kentucky's run away with the conference. Auburn started off really hot and came down to earth a little bit, but they're still very good. LSU... also quite good, but Florida beat them the other night. So it's kind of interesting to see. The SEC has been kind of a cluster this year. Didn't expect...
just because you touched on Kentucky winning the conference, I think it's hilarious. At the beginning of the year, I think it was the third week of the year, they lost, or third game, sorry. They lost to Evansville.
Yeah.
Who, I saw something on Twitter where Evansville, they beat the number 1 team in the country at the time, and they have not won a conference game at all this year. They are dead last. 9-22. They are dead. They lost all 18 games in the conference. They are 9-22 overall. I think they have one more game in the conference. Yeah, they have one game against Valparaiso. So if they beat the number 1 team in the country and they go 0-19 in their own conference. That is a bad loss by Kentucky if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their conference too, I mean, we've got Illinois State and Drake. They're not good teams either, but yeah, Evansville, I mean, it's just a fluke, you know? Yeah. You always have one of those, and it is what it is.
But no, I mean, personally, I don't think Florida's going to make the tournament. I mean, if they win out the last 2 games and then it would make some noise in the SEC tournament, they'll make the tournament. The NCAA tournament, that is.
You say tournament, funny.
Tournament?
Tournament.
I mean, I don't know. How else did you say it?
Tournament. I don't know. That's how I say it.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm Arabic. I don't know.
How do you guys say it? Please let us know. Is it tournament or tournament? Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm tournament. I don't know. Whatever. I never noticed it now.
Well, the A-Sun tournament kicks off we're recording. So tonight, it's recording tonight as we record this. JU travels across to UNF as the 7 seed up against the 2 seed. I don't know if I can see JU winning this game. I mean, you and I went to the Rumble at JU
a few months ago,
not too long ago, and
2 months ago, yeah,
it didn't look pretty. I mean, JU was able to contain them in the first half, but once the 3 balls started dropping, there was no answer.
Yeah, UNF can shoot a 3. I'll give them that. They can shoot the 3 really well, and usually that's what happens in March. You'll win games based on your 3-point shooting, and who knows if UNF can win the conference tournament, maybe we'll see them in the tournament, but we'll see. I mean,
if they win the conference.
Well, no, I'm saying we'll see them, but I just wonder what seed they'll be. I don't want them to be like a 15 or 16 seed, have a slim to no chance. I'd like to see a local team go far. Nothing will beat JU from 50 years ago, but
no, for sure. I mean, as of right now, if Liberty is slated to win the conference, and they're a 12 seed. So
upset city.
I don't know if UNF would warrant that high type of seed because Liberty won the conference last year. But I don't know. It would be interesting. I mean, heck, it's with the parity right now. Maybe they could make a
any team can win in March.
Mess. Yeah. Wrapping things up, I just had a few local things I wanted to touch on. The first being with the Jacksonville Sharks, our local arena team. They are in the NAL. I'm assuming that's just the National Arena League. I don't know. That makes sense, right?
Probably, yeah.
Well, so the local TV station CW17 will broadcast the home games at 1 p.m. on Sunday following each game. So that'd be pretty cool. Give us something to watch.
On Sundays, while we miss real football, XFL will be done by then.
Yeah.
Have you even kept up with the XFL?
I'm a DC Defenders guy, and I just watched us get destroyed by Tampa Bay, the
worst team in the league.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep that under wraps. I don't know. You have a team?
Not really. I mean, I haven't really watched it because I've been so busy on the weekends lately.
It's pretty average.
I feel like it is average. But, I mean, if they keep it going, I'll get my interest back up. But we'll see.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, Mosh, the Museum of Science and History for you uncultured swines, announced this week that ViStar is
Why are you taking shots at me, man?
ViStar has pledged $2.5 million towards Mosh 2.0, and they're going to expand and renovate the museum. Okay. I don't know. Have you been to Mosh lately?
Lately? No. Ever? Yes, when I was a kid. Okay. But now this may be a very, very, very stupid question. Is ViStar a local company?
Yes.
Like, is it founded here, essentially?
Yes.
Okay. Reason why I'm saying that is they're really caring about the city more than the Cons are, at least. Because they've got the Veterans Arena named after them. They sponsor the Veterans Arena. And they're putting money into Mosh, which is pretty cool seeing that. They're really giving back to the community and trying to fix up the downtown Jacksonville.
Yeah, so a big thing with banks and credit unions is you want to get your name out there and put it on a bunch of different things to show that you have support for your local city. As we just saw with the baseball grounds being one-to-one financial field, or whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm never going to call it that. It's going to be the baseball grounds.
The baseball grounds,
but,
yeah.
I mean, they're there. You've got Community First. They do things too.
I thought it was curious because ViStar is the bank to do it after they got the naming rights to the Veterans Arena. I thought that was pretty cool then. Because I didn't know. I don't have ViStar, so I don't know if they're from Jackson or not, which makes sense actually now.
Yeah, it was geared towards military at first.
I knew it was for military originally.
Lastly, I know you've seen this already, and I've seen it too. Jacksonville has been approved for electric scooters downtown.
I love it.
Have you ridden them before anywhere?
Yes, in Tampa.
Okay, I have in Denver. Well, I didn't actually get
Tampa
to ride them.
Was it Tampa or St. Pete? It was Tampa area. It was pretty cool.
It was approved 18-0, so this is going to be something like Bird, Lime, Jump, even Lyft. I know they do it too.
I know Lyft did it, yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept. For those of you who don't know, it's like rent a car, but it's rent a scooter. You take a scooter off the rack or wherever they start off at, you scooter to your destination, and then you park it. And you get charged for it. Very small fee, but it's basically a way to get from, say, I'm at the football stadium and I want to go down to the bars. I don't have to walk that far. Hop on a scooter, you get there, pay a small fee, but you don't have to be tired afterwards. So, I don't know. I like it.
I like the idea because when I was in Tampa, it was like electric scooter. And you just pretty much put it's like a bike, put your hand
like a motorcycle.
Exactly, accelerate like a motorcycle and brake like a bike. It's all that, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and
you just fly down.
Top speed of 15 miles per hour, which is actually kind of fast.
Not bad, yeah. This one's 15, yeah. And I think it's pretty cool. As long as you just be careful around you'll be fine. Now, I don't know if this will be a really good idea when it comes to late at night at the bars when people are drunk, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, they have the power to lock. There's going to be geo-fencing, so you can only take them to certain areas.
Yeah, and I know it's going to be just specific areas of town, but...
Absolutely, so we'll see how that goes. I think it'll, if they ever build Lot J or something like that, it could be something that would be nice for that.
I'm not getting in Lot J ever. It's never happening. because Curry. I'm not saying anything. I'm keeping that to myself.
We'll let Mike curse to himself off air here. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Trust the Process. Hopefully next time our boy Skylar will be able to join us. We have hopefully a set schedule coming out very soon, so you'll be able to hear us. Hopefully,
We don't guarantee anything. We're still in the works of figuring that out.
Yeah, we're figuring things out. We'll keep you posted on that. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram for all the updates. We will have a new host for our podcast too, a new website that you can go on to.
I thought you were saying that there's a new host for the.
Yeah, this is Mike's last episode.
I'll say that's a surprise.
No, so
we're getting a fourth person.
Thank you all again for listening to Trust the Process, brought to you by Coastal Indoor Golf. Peace out. We actually have some breaking news. Mike, go ahead. This was Mike actually walking out the door, and he just came back to my door and knocked on it and told me this.
So I was just pulling up Twitter because I feel like it's my newspaper throughout the day, and I see Adam Schefter tweeted that the Jaguars traded away A.J. Boye to Denver for a 2020 fourth-round pick.
Fourth-round pick.
And the Schefter tweeted the trade cannot be processed until the new league year begins March 18th. My first thought is, what the fuck? I don't care. I just cussed. A fourth-round pick for A.J. Boye? I don't get it.
I mean, with the history of NFL trades that I have seen, I feel like everyone always gets slighted when you're getting the draft pick on that side of the game, but fourth round seems kind of low.
And on top of it, I just refreshed Twitter, and Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk tweeted or put an article out. Will the Jaguars trade Nick Foles? And a rumor I'm seeing, I don't want to bring it up on the podcast, but I'm not sure. Colts is the number one team, which would be really interesting if we trade him to the Colts. And that's what Mike Florio mentioned too, as a possibility.
There you have it. That was Mike with breaking news. Thank you all for listening.